Hello, and in this video I'm looking at the top 10 games of 2018 according to Board Game Geek, and then putting them by whether or not they're in my collection or not. So these are the top 10 games that are in my collection if you take the BGG ranking system. So starting off at number 10 is Evil High Priest, which is ranked as game 7308. That is the 10th game in my collection, so that is a difference of 2 because I put it in as number 8 in my 2018 video. As I say, this is a game I haven't got to the table enough to basically make a full judgment call on it, but from looking at it and thinking about it, that's where I'm placing it at the moment. Anyway, let's move on to the next game in my collection at position number 9 according to my board game ranking system, so it's 6,421 officially. Well, I also put God's War in at number 9, so apparently we sort of match up there, as long as you're prepared to ignore the fact it's ranked 6,400 odd. So yes, this again is a game that officially was released in 2018, but I'm not convinced too many people have actually got a copy of it. It's basically Cthulhu Wars, so I expect it to climb the ranking very quickly, and it'd be interesting to see whether I rate it more than I rate Cthulhu Wars once I actually get my hands on it. Anyway, there you go, that is my number 9. Number 8 then is CO2, which has an overall rank of 3,577. This re-implements the classic CO2. Been a few production issues with it, so I hope to do a video on it so we can actually look at those with things like cards, the front and the back sort of are rotated to each other, which isn't a huge deal, it's just a little bit annoying, I guess. So anyway, that's CO2. Let's move on to number 7, which is now Boarding. Now I rated this as number, I think about number 12 or 13 in my video. But as you can see, overall it's got a ranking of 2,780. It's this fun real-time cooperative game where you're trying to get passengers picked up and delivered, basically. I think the real-time element is one of the factors here that might hold it back. And, the rules are fairly simple, and the graphic design's, sweet. Anyway, rated at number 6 in my top 10, and falling ironically in number 6 based on my collection, but overall has a rating of 927, but a thematic rating of 132. Very highly regarded. Too Many Bones. This specifically is Too Many Bones Undertow, which is the standalone / add-on for the Too Many Bones game system. The next game is Zombicide, falling in position 5. That's one worse than I put it in my 2018 list. Has an overall rank of ironically 666 and a thematic rating of 113. Really fun beer and pretzels fantasy zombie game. I really enjoy it. It's not an amazing, oh my god, this is brilliant design. But the tweaks from classic, modern day Zombicide to the fantasy version are very subtle, but enough for me to lift it up slightly over its modern setting. Plus I like the fact you got spells and you can have orcs and trebuchets and all that good stuff. Not a game I've actually managed to get to the table too much in Green Horde format. I'm playing much more of the Black Plague edition right now, but I really like what I've seen, and I like the new characters, and the fact that if you don't like the Green Horde rules, you can always use the minis with your class, your Black Horde, so it's not too bad. Anyway, let's move on to one of the biggest shocks for me, Teotihuacan. This was my number 1. It's currently number 4, so that's 3 places different. Overall, it's got a rating of 255, which is not bad considering most people haven't even got hold of it yet. So that's pretty shocking, really. And strategy rated for 124. I raved about this in my other video, and I'm hoping to do an unboxing sort of style video. So we'll see if I can get time to do that. So let's move on to the number 3, which is Root. Well, I rated it as number 2, so that's a 1 place difference. As you can see, it's got an overall rank of 94 and a war strategy sort of rating 32 and 62. So, you know, not bad. Another new game to already have jumped up to as high as 32nd best war game, 94th best overall. Really cute looking game, but not quite so cute to play. It's you have to be a little bit ruthless, and it's basically a cutesy war game. So there is this difficulty of, is it too cute for the war gamers and too war gamey for the cute components brigade? It would seem not right now, and it's a really wonderful game, and unfortunately the expansion is currently out of stock, so hopefully that will come in soon-ish. Let's move on to number 2 then. Well, a little bit of a swap around here because it's Rising Sun, which I rated as my number 3. Overall, it has a rating of 50th, and on the strategy front, 41st. Beautiful miniatures, beautiful board, beautiful components, particularly if you got the Kickstarter all-in sort of stuff. The rules, pretty good. Will this fall down the rankings? I think it might do, but Blood Rage has managed to hang in there. So, as I said in my previous video, maybe Blood Rage and Rising Sun might switch positions. I, in some ways, prefer the minis of Rising Sun, but I wonder if I sort of prefer the rules of Blood Rage. A really hard one. They're very close, but they are different enough that you could justify owning both, although with the amount of space they take up and the amount of financial investment, maybe you should pick your poison, I guess. And let's move on to number 1. Well, I'm very pleased to say it's actually Brass, which I rated as 7th, so that's a difference of 6 places. It's got an overall rank of 27th, which is pretty high, and a strategy rating of 12th. And this, as I said, is a variation of the Brass game, which has now been rebranded as Brass Lancashire. So if I just click on that for you, you'll notice Brass Lancashire has jumped up to overall rank of 24th and strategy of 16th. And Brass was always very highly regarded. So anyway, let's click back to Birmingham and let's have a look at some of the components. So the box has got this beautiful cover. Bit stark, I guess, but really, I say beautiful, it's not beautiful, is it? But it's beautiful in the sense of capturing the theme of the gritty, dirty industrial revolution, I guess. And then it's got this slightly dark board here, which I don't know, it's sort of a nighttime-ish look, really, really nice. Nuneaton, Tamworth, Walsall, Dudley. I'm not northern, so I might mispronounce some of these. Coventry, I think I'm safe with that one. So yeah, that's really nice components. And then you've got this lovely detail of the lamp shining onto the barrel. I assume this is sort of a render because this little bit over on the left here, like a map distance measuring tong. I've forgotten the official names for it. It doesn't look quite right. And then here's sort of another mock-up of what it will look like. Again, it's on my to unbox list. And yeah, just really beautiful production quality. These poker tiles are weird. They're sort of plasticky. They're not quite Too Many Bones clay sort of poker chips. So they're really exciting, but a little bit disappointing at the same time. I actually played with some of these poker chips the other day around at my friend who's also got them, and yeah, I expected them to, I mean, they've got weight to them, but there's just something weird. The tactileness of them doesn't quite work, but the design and the weight of them is pretty good. So I don't know, I need to play with them a bit more to decide what I feel about them. The box, beautiful production. It's got a funky insert, which I will find out whether it's any good when I actually unbox my copy. I haven't actually unboxed Brass Birmingham yet, but yeah, I mean, I've tried, friends, so what can I say? Anyway, there you go. That is the top 10 as ranked by Board Game Geek. That are in my collection. So it's not actually the top 10. I believe Brass, Rising Sun and Root are possibly in the actual top 10 when you do a search for the 2018 games, but I wouldn't quote me on that. But yeah, very interesting to see that my number 1 is 27th, but my number 10 is over 7,000. So there you go. Very quick look and just a little supplemental list to my previous video about 2018 games. Hope you enjoyed it.